Hello, everyone. In your quest to becoming permanent residents in the United States, you have applied for the employment-based immigration category. Even at that, you've received approval, but you keep waiting because you are not able to either adjust your status if you reside in the US or continue with the consular processing if you are in your home country, all because there is no visa number available for you to be able to proceed. So in today's video, I will be touching on Visa Bulletin and its importance. There are key important things you should take note of. Three things: priority dates, final action dates, and dates for filing. So I will be explaining this so you understand what you are waiting for in order for you to proceed to the last stage of obtaining your green card, which is permanent residence. As you can see on the screen, you can go to your browser and we're going to take a look at a case study, which is an example of the latest Visa Bulletin that has been released as of the time of recording this video. First, let me establish what is Visa Bulletin. It is a monthly publication by the United States Department of State. This Visa Bulletin provides crucial information about the availability of immigrant visa numbers for various categories of green card applicants, be it EB2, NIW, and the likes. Now, the Visa Bulletin lists the priority dates for two categories of people: those in the family-sponsored and those in the employment-based immigration categories. And this bulletin shows which applicant is eligible to move forward with their green card application. So, for example, when you filed for your EB2 NIW, especially those of you that self-petitioned, and you receive approval, you notice that you cannot proceed to the next stage. And that's because your category is oversubscribed. And so there is no visa number available for you. And so this is what we're talking about today. But take note that, for example, for the EB2NIW self-petitioners, the date you submit your petition, that USCIS receives that petition and acknowledges it, is your priority date. That date, you will see it in the notice of action that is sent to you. That priority date is very important because it is that date you will be using to check against the Visa Bulletin final action date or the date for filing to be able to know the next action to take. And so this is what I am going to explain clearly to you all today. Now on the screen, if you also want to try the same thing, just in your browser, you can put July 2024 Visa Bulletin. So we're using this as a case study. When I do that in my browser, then this is going to come up. You are able to see two things here. So I mean, if I put the July 2024 Visa Bulletin, this comes up. I can click on this, the Visa Bulletin Travel, then you can see this. This is the official website from credible source, as I always say. That's very, very important. Now, this shows the current Visa Bulletin as of the time of recording this video. It's June 2024. We are presently in June. Now, the upcoming Visa Bulletin is also shown July 2024, even though we've not gotten to July. So that's how it is. When we get to July, after about 1 or 2 weeks, there will be August 2024 Visa Bulletin, and that's how the trend is. So let's quickly take a look at something significant that has happened, which is a good news to all petitioners for June 2024 and for July 2024. If you look at the June 2024, there is something I'm going to point your attention to here, but before then, just scroll down and you will see the first category is the family-sponsored preferences. Now, this video is directed at those who are employment-based category. So let's scroll down and you will also see the employment-based preferences. Here it lists all the categories of EB, employment-based, the first, the second, the third, fourth, and the fifth. Now, there are two important dates, as I said, called the final action dates, which we can see here on the screen. And I'm going to explain that. So this is for June 2024. Let's also look at that of July 2024. And I'm going to show you the good news. Let's go to scroll to the employment-based preferences. And here we are. Now, if you look at this table, on this table you have on the first column, employment base. So these are the different categories. The second column shows all chargeability areas except those listed in other columns. So if your country is not listed in other columns like the China mainland born, India, Mexico, or Philippines, then your country belongs to all chargeability areas. Now, if we are looking at second preference, those that apply for the EB2 NIW, you can see that the date here shows 15 January 2023. I'm going to explain that. For those in the first preference, EB1, A, B, or C, it shows C, which means it's current. Current means there is no oversubscription in your category, and upon approval of your petition, you can proceed to the next stage, which is either doing your adjustment of status from I-485 or doing your processing with your consular office in your own country. But today, let's look at the second preference, which is the one that has a final action date. So if you look at that of June 2024, here it is 15 January 2023. Then when we look at the upcoming July 2024 Visa Bulletin for second preference, you see that it has moved to 15 March 2023. So this is a very good news. And you're going to see why is this so important. So before I go into this table to explain further, let me explain to you all my viewers the meaning of this final action dates and the meaning of these dates for filing. The two at times is used interchangeably, but at the end of this explanation, you will know the main difference between these two terms and what USCIS says. So the final action date, which we can see on the screen here, is what I want to explain. This final action date simply indicates when an immigrant visa number will actually be available for applicants, those that have their cases approved, like the EB2NIW. So essentially, this final action date tells you if your green card application can be approved that month. And what does that mean? Remember, I said something about priority dates, which is the date you submitted your petition to USCIS, and you see that in the notice of action that is sent to you. That is your priority date, not the day you receive your approval. No. So when your priority date, which is the date when your green card application, your EB2NIW application was first filed, is earlier than the final action date you see here on the screen for your category. Again, we focus, for example, on the second category, which is the EB2NIW. So what that means is that a visa number is available for you, and your green card application can now be adjudicated and approved. Again, let me give you an example so that we can further understand. So let's say the final action date for your category and country is, as we see on the screen now, 15 March 2023. This is based on the July 2024 Visa Bulletin. So 15 March 2023. If your priority date is March 14, 2023, which is before this final action date for those in the second preference category, or any date before this 15 March 2023, what it simply means is that your application can be processed and potentially approved that month. Now, having understand or laid that foundation a bit, let's look at the other category term, which is dates for filing. What does it literally mean? If you scroll down from this visa bulletin you see on the screen, if you are following me, you scroll down, you see dates for filing of employment-based visa application. So let me briefly explain what it means. Now, the dates for filing are more kind of lenient cutoff dates that allows you, the petitioner, to file your green card application earlier, even if, so to say, the visa number is not yet available. Now, take note that these dates for filing is typically ahead of the final action date. Say, for example, let's look at this on the screen. The date for filing, I'm scrolling up. The date for filing for the second preference category here shows 22 March 2023. And if you look at the final action date for the second preference, it shows 15 March 2023. So you see that the date for filing is ahead of the final action date. That's what I'm explaining. So the filing, let me put it this way. What that really means is that filing your application based on the date for filing, literally, it allows you to submit your green card application or prepare your application. Now you know that, yes, your priority date is earlier than the date for filing, so you can prepare your application. And what that helps you with is, you can obtain interim benefits, such as like work authorization, if you do not already have that, or you can even file for travel parole, which is like a travel permit, if you need that. Why you now wait for your priority date to become current according to the final action date. So in summary, before we go back to this, is that your final action date literally determines if your green card can be approved that month. Now, if your priority date, take notes, that date you will see it in the receipt notice that is sent to you by mail. Now, if your priority date is earlier than this final action date, your application can be processed and approved. For date for filing, it allows you to file your green card application earlier in order to, benefit other things like obtain work authorization and travel permits, as I've said earlier. I'm also still going to give you a kind of example because I do know that this confuses people a lot. But as you can see, this is good news. Here we have the Visa Bulletin for July 2024 released. And so for all of you who has applied for this employment-based second preference NIW, and your priority date is on or is before 15 March 2023, that is a very good news for you. That your green card processing is on the way. Let me also give you a literal example again to understand this thing. Think of it this way. The final action date, like let's say the day a concert ticket becomes available for those of you that likes to go to concerts. Now, if the concert date, and that's like the final action date, is March 15th, for example, and you have a ticket, that's your priority date, that is dated, let's say March 1st or earlier, then you can attend the concert, that is, get your green card approved that day. In the other hand, the date for filing is like a pre-sale for the concert tickets. So even though the concert is on March 15th, you might still be able to buy the ticket. And you can't really attend the concert yet, but you can get your ticket early and have access to special benefits like the backstage passes, which is like equivalent to like your work and travel permits if you need them in that case, while you wait for the concert day itself. So this is what it's all about. If you enjoyed this video, you understand your priority dates, final action date, date for filing. You can always see that online. Give this video a thumbs up for this clarity. Give it a like, share it with people, and feel free to watch every other videos released by Prof. Dan Tutorials. Wishing you all the best in your immigration journey. Hopefully, it's gonna get to you soon. Keep checking this out. You can set an alert so you can always be informed when this Visa Bulletin is released. All right, wishing you all the best. Take care and bye-bye.